All right, bang, bang, guys. It's Tom Schultz from Liquidation Motivation back one more time promoting the WHSL market, April 21st, April 22nd, Louisville, Kentucky, guys. You have to go to every trade show. You have to be there, guys. If you don't go there to meet everybody, you're losing out in this business. And we have a very special guest tonight, our collaboration with Liquidation Motivation and WHSL Market. We have Evan Schulman, guys. Evan Schulman, the founder and CEO of ManyFastScan, guys. And if you don't know Evan yet, you are missing out. How you doing today, Evan?
Great, Tom. Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure. It's my pleasure. Evan, now you're a tech guy. You're in the tech field, but you're in the tech field of my industry, baby, in the liquidation field. And I love it, man. I love it. We are getting so much more and more advanced with AI, with everything that guys like you do. I don't know how I can show my appreciation about how you are saving me so much time in this industry. But before we get into that, why don't we go before? What were you doing before you were doing ManyFastScans?
Sure. So I started my career in consulting. So I was helping billion-dollar companies make another $1 billion. Maybe, I don't even know. But after a stint in corporate America, I started my own consulting business. I focused on strategy and analytics. And of course, there's a big technical component there as well. I was in between technical contracts and I was bored, and I thought it would be fun it was my first time having some free time in 2 years, and thought it would be fun to go buy a pallet and flip it on eBay or OfferUp or wherever I
bought a pallet.
I never ended up buying a pallet, but I thought it would be the fun thing to do. So I went someplace here in Houston. They were selling wholesale pallets and they were buying Home Depot trucks at the time, back when you can get them at 25% of retail. And their intention was to just basically double their money. So they wanted to get 50% of retail, but the trucks were unmanifested. They didn't really know what was on the pallet, and they'd kind of do one of these. Is this $1,000, $1,500? And, I'm sure sometimes they were leaving money on the table, and sometimes they were probably charging too much, and they wanted to do right by their customers. So the initial prototype of ManyFastScan was basically a manifest generator. And they just wanted to scan UPCs from Home Depot and get retail prices to price pallets. And we did that. And then they walked me next door where they were running an auction with all of the same items. And I was watching the manual labor of typing in every single item and creating every listing from scratch. And nothing was consistent. The photos weren't great. There were issues because that software at the time, you needed to host a local server. And it was just way too complicated. And I saw the opportunity to just automate the collection of all of this data. It's out there, and put it all in one place and make it usable. There's lots of places on the web where you can look up a UPC, but you can't do anything with that information. You can't format it the way you want. You can't get a list. So ManyFastScan, which was just a manifest generator back then, was born from complete accident and me being bored.
There you go. So you saw a problem and you solved the problem. I need to make it clear that I am a subscriber to ManyFastScans, and I'm going to tell you that, my life has become so much easier because of you, Evan. I'm the guy that was entering everything into eBay, everything into my auction houses, everything that I was doing one by one. And then all of a sudden somebody tapped me on the shoulder and said, "Hey, have you heard of ManyFastScans?" I'm like, "What the heck is that?" And they brought me through the process. They showed me everything, and now we use it in everything we have, Evan. So talk about the evolution of your industry, where you started and where it's at now of your software.
Yeah, Tom, I really appreciate that. Thanks for being a subscriber. We're happy to support you in any way we can. So everything started very simple. It was web-based. We didn't have an app in either of the app stores. There's some technical limitations when you're just working off the web. So building the app, it actually hit the App Store in September of 2021. And then I got sidetracked, invested in another business, lost a little bit of time, but we launched commercially in 2023, January 2023. And starting at that point, it was just me and one or two developers. So I was on every single tech support call, every single demo, talking to liquidation buyers, auctioneers, figuring out the tools that they needed to run their business as successfully as possible. And everybody kind of had a little bit of a different flavor of doing that. And we took that into consideration. So if you wanted to feature Tom and somebody else didn't, we'll put a switch in the settings for you and you can turn it on and turn it off. And sometime down the line, somebody else might be doing something similar.
Evan, if I can just interrupt you real quick, 100%. Now, my business partner, we were starting up our Whatnot channel, and we were like, hey, I wish ManyFastScans had this feature. And he was like, let me call Evan. Gets you on the phone, and you're like, yeah, let me work on that. Let me work on that for you guys. And I'm like, you can just call this guy up and have him fix the software. So guys, if anybody doesn't believe it, 100% Evan is the man. He's out there. He's reactive to whatever you need in the industry, the needs, 100%. So I'm sorry to interrupt you. Go ahead. But I just wanted everybody to know that little story there.
I really appreciate that, Tom. And yeah, that's exactly what we do, whether it's myself that picks up the phone or somebody else from our sales team. That's what I've trained them to do. We have to give our customers what they need. There's no one size fits all here. We're not a software off the shelf. We'll build whatever you need and we won't charge you for it unless it's something that's proprietary to your business or hyper specific and nobody else is going to use it. Our goal is to build the perfect software, and we'll be working at that forever. We're not done. We're pushing out updates every week, just bringing in the latest and greatest technology, whether it's just the back-end framework, which our users can see in our latest production system. Much faster back-end, much faster front-end. It looks prettier. We have some major updates coming out on the app in the next few weeks. Really excited about that. Much more modern UI. When we started, it was let's just build, and we'll make it look pretty later. Well, the time is now, and we certainly want to improve that user experience as much as we can. And making things as easy as possible for the user is really our goal. So we try to do as much as we can on our side so that the user doesn't have to worry about it. Their job is to scan, inspect, photograph, and move on to the next one. And we keep that in mind with everything we build.
Nice. Excellent. Okay. So tell me, let's get into the platform. So what platforms that people sell on will benefit from ManyFastScan?
There really isn't a platform that we can't work with. Now, our connections aren't direct. We have direct connections with eBay, Square, Shopify, and Clover. So press a button, it's on eBay. Press a button, it's on Shopify, and so on and so forth. We take care of, especially on eBay, we spent a year building out our eBay integration. So all those pesky item specifications, all the eBay categorization. We're working on our pricing intelligence to make sure our customers are pricing their items on e-commerce competitively. And that's going to be out in the next month or so. For the auction platforms, as long as they can accept a CSV file, we'll put the photos in whatever format they need to be named as, or we can give you image links. And our download process in our latest production version on the web, you can download a 3,000 unit auction and as fast as your internet is. We'll prepare it on our side really quickly, press the download button, and you'll be good to go.
So how much time do you think you've saved, people that are doing these listings? I mean, I know I can probably list an eBay item in a few minutes. It seems like my employees take about 10 minutes to list an eBay item. But now that they're using ManyFastScans, talk about that. How much more efficient do you think you've made all these companies?
So based on our data, the typical auctioneer is listing without ManyFastScan, maybe 40 to 50 items a day. Some are doing more. It's all going to depend on the merchandise, the condition of the merchandise, whether they're testing it or not. We have customers that will see them do over 1,000 units a day, just because all those items are new. That's really simple, easy, scan and go, label it, move on to the next one. For the customers that are having things that are customer returns or liquidations, not exactly shelf pulls, but they have to go through it, plug it in, test everything out, make sure that they're selling a quality item. That's where the time is. We haven't built the robot yet to do that, but it's on the roadmap.
It's coming.
So, we see 3 to 5x in productivity and that's kind of an average based on, taking everything out of the box, testing it. We have customers that once their employees hit like 180 to 200 items a day, they send them home, pay them for the rest of the day, and they're thrilled. So we're seeing that as well, and that particular account is doing customer returns. So yeah, the throughput is a lot higher. Doesn't matter how you list. We have 6 different ways to list. That includes scanning the barcodes, using our AI photo lookup. The listings are consistent. Even if you do a manual entry through our system, we call it a no UPC. The format of your listing will be the same. So even if it's a manual entry, it looks just like the item that you just scanned the barcode and we pulled in all the data for. So there's a big increase in bidder just experience that they don't have to place Sherlock Holmes on the photos that you post to figure out, are all the parts there? Is there something missing? Is there something scratched, etc. So from the added productivity to the added bidder satisfaction, it's a big improvement overall.
Evan, how important is data when it comes to selling liquidation?
It's everything, really. That's what you're presenting to your buyers or potential buyers. So if you're not showing them the things that they need to see to place their highest bid, they're not going to place that highest bid. They're not going to bid 10% more, or 20% more if they don't have confidence in the item that they're actually buying. All too often when product listings are unstructured, and I can't tell you how many times I bought something from an auction and it just said damaged. And I look at the photo and I was like, it doesn't look that bad. Well, it ended up being just ready for the dumpster. Playing Sherlock Holmes, like I mentioned earlier, is not something you want your bidders doing. Just tell them whether or not it's damaged, tell them if it's missing parts or not, tell them what the product does. They may or may not have ever seen it before in their life. They're going to want to do a little bit of research. Let them know what the retail price is so they know, how much they should be bidding for this item. And if they can get a deal at 30-50% off, they'll be thrilled. And the sellers will be thrilled too. So there's a little something there for everybody.
Yeah. Well, I remember, back in the day, like an arbitrage in buying and selling on my end was like if somebody would do a poor listing, right? Or somebody would spell something wrong in the listing, or somebody would, not really have the knowledge of what their product was. And I'm searching all over spelling Sony wrong or something wrong just to see if somebody made a mistake. And your program eliminates that.
Yeah, it's like if you're shopping on Amazon as just a regular consumer, I'm sure you're an Amazon Prime shopper just like me. If I'm going to buy something, I'm going to look at 10 different versions of the same product. I'm going to read every single stat. I'm going to figure out, is it worth the extra, $5-10 for version 2 versus version 1? That's how everybody's shopping these days. It's very competitive. People can be very analytical, and that needs to come over to the auction space. I think there's a need to just raise the profile of the auction industry, because when most people think of auctions, they think of eBay, but auctions are probably the oldest form of commerce since the beginning of time. It's like, hey, I got a goat here. Who's going to give me the most money? That's kind of how the world started, and that's how commerce started. So with reliable listings, clear listings, with all of the data there, people can actually do their shopping on auctions. And with ManyFastScan, we're creating those product listings in the format, in the way that they're accustomed shopping on any other major retail site.
So what are the biggest platforms that you guys are integrated with?
So a lot of our customers are using our direct native integrations like eBay, Shopify, Square, and Clover. Others are selling on HiBid or ProxyBid or auctioneer software, AuctionWorks. The list goes on and on. Bid Wrangler, we got a new one, Auction Ninja the other day. Yeah, there's a long list. We haven't found any auction platform that we haven't been able to format the data the way that our customers need.
Nice. All right, so AI has changed everything in the tech industry. Talk to me how the evolution of AI has affected your business.
Absolutely. So this time a year ago, AI was starting to get useful. Now it's becoming incredibly useful with agentic AI. It's getting smarter, it's getting cheaper. We have AI implemented for most users, it's implemented in a more simple way, but it saves them dozens of hours every single month. So some platforms, you can only have a product title of a certain number of characters. So we have AI title shortening. You'll never have to shorten or change a title again. We'll just take care of it. In addition to that, if you're doing our no UPC, which is a manual listing, take a photo, give the item a title, we'll write the description, and it's, our AI models are really refined. We don't have super flowery language or just extra stuff in there that doesn't make sense. Nobody would ever really know that it was written by AI. On the e-commerce side, categorizing, finding the right item specifications, categorization on sites like eBay is just super critical to get your stuff listed, and our models take care of all of that. And there's a lot more coming. I'm not going to leak it just yet, but this time next month we'll have some cool stuff out. In addition to that, for our photo taking, we'll collect stock photos for you, and then users can also take their own photos. We have an AI background removal tool that we built in-house. Users can use it as much as they want. Other providers will charge you to do that, but you can edit your photos, remove the background of your photos in ManyFastScan with the same kind of functionality as any photo editing app. So it's really kind of fully part of the process, and our goal is to use AI to really further develop and enrich our data that we're getting. We want to make sure that our users have everything that they need to make the sale, and they don't have to go and do their own research and copy and paste and things like that. So there's a lot more coming down the pipe. It's certainly going to make everybody's lives easier. It's going to help us provide the best possible data and the best possible user experience. So I'm really, really excited about it.
All right, Evan. So what is a day in the life of a ManyFastScan user?
Sure. So the day starts like the day ended the previous day. So the users know exactly what manifest they need to open up and get moving. So a little bit about our process. So as these trucks come in and things are getting unloaded, our users are scanning the items. So they can use a barcode scanner, Bluetooth barcode scanner, or they can use the camera on their phone. So really, the only hardware that's absolutely required is an iPhone or an Android device. We also integrate with Zebra label printers, and we also sell those and warranty those because there's so many different versions, and we want to make sure our customers have the tools they need to do their job. So scanning an item, so we can scan pretty much any code. So UPCs, ASINs, FN SKUs, which are those X0 Amazon barcodes. We can do Amazon LPNs if you have a manifest. Those LPN numbers aren't attached to any data unless you have the mapping in the manifest. We have a super simple upload process for getting your data into ManyFastScan. So that's one way to do it. You can use item numbers. So liquidations from Costco, they only send us item numbers. So those are the numbers that you have to type in. They're just right above the barcode. Several other vendors only provide item numbers as well. We have our no UPC option, which is your manual entry. Just take a photo, give it a title. We'll generate the description with AI, and the rest of the process is the same for cataloging the condition and everything else. We have our AI lookup, which is probably one of our most AI photo lookup, rather, one of our most popular features. Just take a photo of an item. We'll do a full global search. We'll show you all the items that this photo matched, and then you can just add it right into your manifest. For the users that are going out and doing the research on their phone, finding the items on different retailer websites, well, you can actually just share the link of that retailer with ManyFastScan, just like you're saying, I'm saying, hey, Tom, buy me this from Amazon, for my birthday coming up. And I'll just click share, messages, and it'll go right over to you. So you just hit share, ManyFastScan, and it sends it right over to the manifest, populates all the data, stock photos, everything, and you're good to go. And then the last option, which I think is really important, we're very much a data-focused company, and any data you create in ManyFastScan, you have access to it. So if you get an item that you scanned and you got all the photos and product information for it, the next week you get a similar truck, you get the same item, no box, no barcode to scan. So what do? You search for it right inside the app, find it the last time you listed it, all the information will be there. The idea here is not to type the same thing twice. So lots of different ways to list. And then when it's listed, you hit save and print. We'll print out an inventory label. We'll print out an auction label with the lot number, with a QR code as well. So if you want to go to that item 2 weeks from now, you can scan that QR code in ManyFastScan. You can see all the info about it. You can see who listed it. You can move its location. I mean, it's incredibly powerful. You'll never lose track of any of your items. We can also print retail labels. So for those folks that are doing resale retail, we'll print you a label that says MSRP, sale price, and give you a barcode that you can scan in your POS. I mean, until ManyFastScan, never heard of a resale shop being able to check their customers out like a grocery store. So we'll print those labels. We can customize labels to say do whatever you want them to do, but that's just how some customers are using them now. After that, put the stuff up on the shelf, and when it's time to load everything into the auction platform, we have a super simple download process. Gets uploaded and it's ready for sale. So it's just a matter of scanning a barcode or taking a photo. We give the users lots of different ways to get the data for the item so that they don't have to manually go out there and do it themselves.
Wow, I had no idea. I had no idea you did all that stuff. But I will attest to one thing. My employees came to me, about 3 of them who work on my auction platform, and they're like, hey, our 30-day trial is up for the AI add-on for ManyFastScans. And I'm like, well, do you need it? And they all just shook their head like, that makes our job so much easier. And we're like, all right, let's roll with it, baby. So I can attest that the AI add-on is worth its weight in gold.
I appreciate that. It certainly saves a ton of time, and the less we ask of the our users, our employees in the warehouse. They got a lot of stuff going on. They're working hard. It's hot. It's cold. There's lots of moving parts. The less they have to type, they don't have to worry about spelling errors or anything else like that. We take care of all of that. All they need to do is just hit some buttons for conditions, and they can go on to the next one. So for a quick demo, I will just run through an FN SKU, which is those X0 barcodes from Amazon. We have that data. Nobody else does. Our customers love that feature. And we'll also jump into a little bit of AI. So to get started, I'll hit the plus sign in the bottom right corner of the app screen. It's going to open up my camera, and I'll be able to scan this barcode, and it's going to open up the camera to take a photo. Now I'm going to take a photo of my Zebra printer, and we do stock, sell, support these, and we sell them just so that our customers have something reliable to use. I'm going to say use photo here. The camera will open up again, so you can rapid fire take as many photos as you like. When you're done, tap on the photo, and at the top of the screen, we have our AI background removal. It'll remove the background from the image for you. Did a great job. We'll say use. If we want to do any other edits to the image, we can add in a circle or an arrow to indicate some damage or any other additional features. You can also crop, rotate, adjust colors, etc. We can see that we've already gotten the data for this item. Up at the top, we can tap for details. So I scanned a light, but I took a photo of the printer. I'm going to hit next, and this is where you make your money. So this is where all of the condition and information about the actual item is collected. Super simple. Just tap some buttons and you'll be done. So is the item in packaging? Is assembly required? If it's yes, it's damaged, the user will be prompted for damage description. Yes, no, functional. Missing parts, if yes, also users prompted for a description. Down here at the bottom, you can flag this item to review later if you need some extra help, or feature the item. So the featured items are super easy to download, and that'll be all the high-end items, or maybe not high-end items, whatever you want to market. Just feature it. We'll tap on not featured. Now it's featured, and we'll hit save and print. So the printer will print the label. Let me pop open my camera here, and you'll see the label printed. I have my lot number. The name of my manifest or my auction is the Liquidation Motivation Manifest. I have a QR code here that I can rescan this item in ManyFastScan. So if the item doesn't sell in today's auction, you can just scan it into a new manifest for tomorrow's auction. You can also scan this QR code to manage your inventory. So if you need to move locations, change prices, or even just see who initially listed the item, maybe there was an error and you want to coach your employees on how to do better next time. Just scan it and it'll tell you everything you need to know. So really quick and easy solution there. Coming back to AI. So let's tap the camera icon up at the top of the screen. That's going to open up our AI camera. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to grab this box. I'm going to take a photo. and that's all I have to do. I'll say use photo. We'll do a global search for the item. It'll pull in all the product information as well as retail pricing. Amazon has it. I'm going to click add, drop it right into my manifest, and the process is just the same. Doesn't matter how you list, the process will be consistent. Your listings will be consistent. We'll hit the next button. We can do our conditions, and then of course we can save and print our label with our lot number, and that one's going to print lot number 2. So full end-to-end, label your stuff, be able to find it, be able to manage it. We have the solution when it comes to just keeping things organized and getting the best data that you can find.
All right, Evan, what do you think what do you think the future of ManyFastScan's and where are you at in 5 years? I mean, technology just changes so fast. What do you think the future of this industry is going to be?
You know, we can do a lot on our end to push our customers forward, to be able to process more, be able to sell more. I think that's everybody's goal. You know, I've a little anecdote. I had a customer come up to me at WHSL a couple years ago and said, you know, your software changed my life. He was working an hourly job and he was flipping pallets on the weekends. After getting the software and ramping things up, he has 2 locations, 40 employees, and I'm not going to share his profitability or anything, but you know, he's essentially creating generational wealth for his family. So those are the stories that just get me out of bed in the morning. And, you know, we will always be looking for ways to help people to sell more and sell faster. You know, we want to help customers move their businesses forward with velocity. We want it to be seamless. We don't want them to have to worry about IT. Right? You know, for some of our customers, we're the de facto IT department, and that's fine by me. You know, focus on what you do great. We'll focus on what we do great, and we'll just continue moving the ball forward. Now, I don't want to leak all my secrets, but you know, we've certainly are planned years out. I have a full roadmap of all the amazing things that I know our customers will benefit from because I talk to our customers every day. That's something that I never stop doing. I mentioned a little bit earlier that, you know, for 2.5 years, every single demo, every single tech call, I took them and I learned my customers. I learned their businesses. I learned what they needed to move forward with velocity. And, you know, that's what we're going to continue to do. You know, we're going to let our customers tell us what they need. We're, of course, are going to do our homework and we're going to figure out, you know, what are some things that maybe our customers aren't thinking about. And in that case, we'll make it a setting, we'll make it a switch. They can turn it on, they can turn it off. It might be a bad idea, but our customers are experts in what they do. And we're going to support them in the ways that they need to move forward, the ways that they need to scale and grow. So to answer that question in a very short way, Tom, it's, you know, it's really up to our customers how we scale, grow over the next 5 years. We're going to give them everything that they need. You know, there's certainly some ideas around automations and conveyors and cameras and LiDAR and all these things. You know, we can do all of that. You know, all it is just a little bit of time. And we have just so many things in the works. It's just a matter of getting everything out the door. But I can't think of anything that we won't be able to support. If we can't do it in-house, we'll bring somebody in, we'll go to the experts, we'll build it into our platform, we'll make sure it has the same experience as our customers have now, which I like to think is pretty easy. We try to make it as simple as possible.
Nice. All right, so if somebody wants to shake your hand, you have a booth at the WHSL Market Show, right?
Yes, we cannot wait. I'm coming with my team. They are super excited. That show is like our Super Bowl every year. We loved meeting new customers, potential customers, and you know, meeting some of our existing customers all over North America, and even the UK. So we're excited. It's like might as well be my birthday.
All right, Evan, thanks a lot for coming on today, guys. You can meet Evan at the WHSL Market Show, April 21st and 22nd in Louisville, Kentucky. Evan, do you go to the after shows? Evan, do you go to the meetups afterwards?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll be around. I'll be there. Everybody will get a chance to meet some of our new team members who weren't there last year. And we're just ecstatic. We love that show. It's a great show. If you're in liquidation, you bump elbows with everybody else who's in liquidation. It's not like some of these other shows where it's a mix of everything. It is purely liquidation, and it is the gold standard, in my opinion. So we can't wait.
All right, perfect. Thank you, Evan. Thanks for coming on today. Guys, liquidation motivation. Thanks for watching, guys. Now go out there and make some money.